The last week, 7 News has reported on a string of concerning violent incidents in D.C., from brawls between juveniles in Southwest D.C. and Navy Yard over the weekend to 2 triple shootings in less than 12 hours last Friday. Those shootings left 2 teenagers hurt and a man dead.
Yeah, and this concerning violence, it comes just weeks out from the start of this summer break. And when we asked Mayor Bowser earlier this week about what the city is doing to keep kids safe, she said parents and community need to step up to help.
Meanwhile, D.C. Council are considering a package of bills dubbed Peace D.C. legislation that includes a slew of proposals to try to bring down crime. We have team coverage with our Rebecca Turco and Felicia Ashley on what this all means for your safety. We're going to go first to Felicia Ashley. She's looking at a push to merge violence interrupter programs under leadership that's been embroiled in public corruption scandals.
That's right. Councilwoman Brooke Pinto wants to merge these programs under the agency whose former director just pled guilty to federal bribery charges. And those charges are also connected to the scandals that you mentioned. Because of that, I asked Councilwoman Brooke Pinto how she plans to make sure that the new ONSE director and those tied to contracts and money don't bring more scandals or misuse their powers.
A new series of measurements to make sure that there are multiple decision makers that review contracts, that review who gets these grants, that we've built into the infrastructure. We've also removed the middleman who was responsible for making these decisions and brought those decisions in-house, which give the council a greater degree of oversight of the agency to make sure that they're held accountable.
Pinto said the 3-year transitional group will also serve as an additional advisory team. During the hearing today, multiple people questioned her on who would be on the advisory team. Now, we asked when the next hearing would happen for this merger, and we learned that the council right now doesn't have a set date for this, and they say it's because of all the changes going on with the budget. But as soon as we get that date, of course, 7 News will be there, and we will bring you the latest details. Back to you.
All right, Felicia, thank you. And before we let you go, there were more than 14 witnesses who showed up to testify about this merger, and they questioned the intentions of this merger.
That's right. I actually got to speak with one. He happens to be a violence interrupter and a contractor, and him as well as multiple witnesses say they feel like this was council's immediate reaction to what they saw happen with former Councilman Trayon White as well as the former ONSE director Dana McDaniel and their allegations with those federal bribery charges connected to ONSE as well as those contracts. And they say they feel if council actually wants tangible change when it comes to crime and violence, especially with juveniles here in D.C., that council needs to invest to the streets, to the people on the streets actually intervening and preventing crime. They say council needs to focus on prevention and not just reaction.
Felicia Ashley reporting for us live, and our team coverage continues now with 7 News' Rebecca Turco. She's digging into the Peace D.C. plan and the other changes being proposed.
This act does not make anyone safe.
For nearly 5 hours, Councilmember Brooke Pinto heard from people against and for 7 of the bills incorporated in her new Peace D.C. plan, sweeping legislation that acts as a sequel of sorts to her Secure D.C. plan, which became law a year ago.
It is a bad idea.
One bill that got a lot of attention relates to pretrial detention. It expands what's called a rebuttable presumption to all charges of violent crimes, meaning it's presumed a person charged should be detained unless their defense can argue they're not a danger or flight risk. It's legislation already in place on an emergency basis, and opponents argue it's only led to mass incarceration.
I saw a man be held for stealing a sandwich. For stealing a sandwich. And so it's the prosecutor's job to bring forth those charges, and then the judge makes that determination.
Councilmember Pinto argues her bill helps balance victims' rights.
I think that this change is actually pretty narrow, but empowers judges to weigh all of those equities and to make a decision that they think is fair.
There's another public hearing on these bills tomorrow. Reporting from the Wilson Building, Rebecca Turco, 7 News.